Welcome to El Profe's Classroom. Class is in session. And today we're gonna be doing something a little different. We've been watching a lot of crappy movies. So I decided that I was gonna watch the movies that have been nominated for the Oscar for Best Picture for the Academy Awards that are coming next month. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna watch all of them and give you my thoughts on them. So I'm gonna be starting with the film F1. This film was written by Ehren Kruger and Joseph Kosinski, and directed by Joseph Kosinski, who also directed Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick, which was a surprise movie a couple of years back. I did not want to watch that movie, and it surprised me. So when I watched this movie, when I went to watch this movie, I was like, man, maybe this is gonna be interesting. Cause I have to be honest, F1 is not one of the sports that I watch. I'm not interested in cars at all. So there was this hurdle that I had to go through in getting me interested in the film in the beginning. If I'm watching a basketball film, I'll probably be more lenient on it because I like basketball or a soccer film. But for F1, it was gonna be tough. And basically, this is a story about this racing legend called Hayes, who is played by Brad Pitt, who I'm gonna say does a very very good job in this movie. And he's brought back from retirement by his friend and one-time rival when they used to race against each other, played by Javier Bardem. So he's brought back to this ailing and this team who is not doing well. Their car is not good enough. The new guy who's coming up is very talented, but he is still very young and naive, and needs some of the old school grit to him. And I guess that's my biggest problem with this film. It's not about the acting, it's not about the action. The racing scenes are filmed very well. They did a great job in making it feel very kinetic, and it made it feel very edge of your seat. But for somebody who doesn't do racing at all, a lot of the lingo was beyond me. A lot of the smaller details that I might have enjoyed if this was a soccer or a basketball or a football film, I missed them on this movie. And I think my biggest problem with this film is that I felt that it had a very, very generic story. I mean, I think we've all seen a movie about the old guy who comes back and tries to teach the youngins his ways, and so he's trying to prove something. He could have been the best, but he never actually really made it. So now he's trying to get this young guy to be the best. I mean, it's a tale of all this time when it comes to sports movies. So this movie, it was so generic. It was technically well made, but when it came to the story beats, it just didn't hit for me. And I'm very surprised that they chose this film as one of the nominees for the Oscars. And I'm not saying this movie is bad at all. I just never connected to it. I'm sure they could have found another film that was funner, and I think we're gonna be talking about some of those a little bit later in this series. But it was just lacking in terms of the story for me. So I'm sure somebody will have an opinion on this film. I think it's beautifully shot. I think it's, like I said, very kinetic, very it moved along. It's a little longer than I would have anticipated, but it does its job. But when it comes to the story, it just felt very generic, which takes it down a peg for me when it comes to Oscar movies or movies for any kind of awards. Um, so yeah, that's my thoughts on F1. This is the first episode of the Road to the Oscars, and hopefully I'll be able to watch all the movies before the Oscars come out, and you'll be able to uh, hear my thoughts on them. I would probably give this movie a 3 stars. 3 out of 5 for me is very good. Just not that great. So tell me, what do you think about F1? Do you like F1? Is I know there's been a boom of F1 racing fans, at least in my where I live. Uh, so I'm surprised that it's really coming up, and I have no idea about the sport at all. So maybe that's why I couldn't connect with it. I'll happily, say that it might be my thing, but those are my thoughts. What do you think about F1? Uh, and do you like actual F1? Let me know. Class dismissed.